Look, it's no secret the last time I discussed the matchup between Della Maddalena and Belal Muhammad, I was very careful and very precise with my wordage. What I said in particular was, JDM has the same odds of winning this fight as I do of spending my rent money responsibly, but ever since then I've locked myself away. I would take a huge hit of salvia, I'd put my headphones on, I would listen to Prince Vegeta motivational videos, and I would just do film study. I would just do research. I would use all of those tools allotted to me, and I would try to put myself in the mind of both of these individuals and come to a definitive conclusion about how they truly stack up against each other. And I think I've had an epiphany. I think I have had what I can only describe as a message from God, and I think Della Maddalena has a real chance of winning this fight. I think Della Maddalena has the style, has the skills, and has the attributes needed to be successful, but it all comes down to two battles. That's it. There are two areas of this fight that JDM needs to take control of if he wants any chance of winning. Even then, there are certain stylistical hurdles he's going to have to get through that no matter what I think will be a challenge. But as long as he can win these two battles, he's going to win this fight. And we're going to get into it. But first, I wanted to take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's video, DraftKings Sportsbook. Guys, this weekend we have UFC 315 where Della Maddalena will be taking on Belal Muhammad for the UFC welterweight title. And listen, guys, take it from me. When you do the film study, when you do the research, when you find those fighters that you truly believe in, and you put just a little bit of money on them, there is no better way to enjoy the fights. And that is why I have partnered with DraftKings Sportsbook, where you can put your money where your fight IQ is. And right now, if you are a brand new customer and you bet just $5 on anything, you will instantly receive $200 in bonus bets. Even if sports betting is not yet legal in your state, do not worry. DraftKings is your one-stop shop for all things daily fantasy, where you can join in on all the fun and have a shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Again, new customers, use my promo code MMASHAY, bet $5 on anything, and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That is code MMASHAY, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Now, as I referenced initially, the very first battle that JDM is going to have to win here in order to have success is the battle of pressure. Both him and Amir like to get in their opponent's face. They like to close the distance and overwhelm them with boxing combinations. Now, JDM accomplishes this through finesse, through combinations, through mixing punches upstairs and downstairs and being extremely difficult to read, whereas Belal accomplishes this through girth. Look, Amir has certainly had his many moments of pressuring you, absorbing punches, not backing up, staying on you, and breaking you with pressure. I mean, he broke Sean Brady with pressure. He broke Leon Edwards with pressure. And when he is pressuring you, his boxing offensively is not bad at all. Like, he puts combinations together very well. He does a good job of when he gets you covering up, he sneaks uppercuts right up the middle. And again, right, he overwhelms guys with the quick boxing combination. And I think a very underrated aspect of Amir's game is his distance management. While he's pressuring you, he does a very good job of not overextending, not running into shots. He does a very decent job sliding away, making you miss, stepping in and landing off of your misses. Though the huge caveat here is, this specifically works when he fights guys who just aren't that strong in the pure boxing. If you are more dangerous than Belal with the boxing, all of a sudden he can't pressure you the same way. And I think the best example of this in terms of recent fights was his second fight against Vicente Luque. Vicente Luque, just plain and simply, is a much more dangerous boxer in close than Belal. Way more dangerous. And that fight looked very different. Belal was the one on the back foot, constantly circling, constantly moving, because he just couldn't pressure Vicente Luque like you can pressure Leon Edwards. Vicente Luque can crack you and put your lights out. And there were moments where Vicente caught Belal, hurt him, rocked him, just because, like I said, he was a more dangerous boxer. So, looking at JDM, is he capable of preventing Belal's pressure? I mean, absolutely. I mean, Jack Della Maddalena is going to be far superior in just straight up boxing skill for skill. The way he mixes combinations together, the way that he can slip and land counters on the back foot or on the front foot. And I think the big one is his chin. I mean, JDM's chin is a fucking sight to behold. I mean, you look at the Basile Hafez fight, right? Basile Hafez is the fucking definition of a giant, juicy, girthy man. And there were so many moments where JDM is just trading with him in the pocket, getting cracked with these fucking fully wound up hooks and overhands, and JDM just wasn't even taking a step back. Now, I think Belal Muhammad, again, right, is certainly not known for his power. He's known for his volume, and it is pivotal that JDM does not back up even when Belal lands, because JDM likes to throw long combinations in the pocket at you. I mean, he is there to get hit off counter shots, but he cannot back up. The second you back up, that is where Belal's entire game opens up. I think the other big aspect of Belal's striking game is his kicks, right? He absolutely destroyed Gilbert Burns just by spamming kicks at him. Of course, Jack fucking snapped his forearm blocking a kick from Gilbert Burns. If you give Belal space, well, now all of a sudden he can spam the kicks at you, which is going to really limit JDM's pure boxing approach. But put him on the back foot, make Belal do what he does on the back foot, which is constantly circle, constantly move. All of a sudden, the kicks just will not be there if he cannot plant his base. Now, of course, like I said earlier, Belal legitimately is very good defensively on the back foot, and he's hard to hit cleanly. But that's where the leg kicks and the body shots open up. If your opponent is on their bike and they're trying to be a butterfly in a windstorm, as some may say, well, headhunting is going to be difficult. But the leg kicks will always be there against an opponent that uses a lot of footwork and a lot of movement. And of course, right, the body shots are there, whether or not Belal tries to roll and move with shots. That is so fucking pivotal for JDM in this matchup. He has to win the pressure battle. If he cannot win the pressure battle, he's not going to win this fight. But like I referenced earlier, and getting into the second battle that JDM needs to win, there are some very scary stylistical hurdles that he still has to overcome, even if he does win the pressure battle. The big one is the takedown threat. You know, looking at that Vicente Luque fight that we referenced, where Belal was completely on the back foot, he was completely incapable of pressuring Vicente Luque. He was forced all the way back and he was forced to move constantly. He was still hitting takedowns on Vicente Luque. I mean, Belal Muhammad's wrestling is very, very good. He has such a smooth, clean double leg, even completely on the back foot. And the problem here for JDM is the fact that he uses high guard more than anything else, all right? The number one way to stop a takedown early is just by getting your arms in between you and your opponent, not allowing your opponent to beat you to your hips. Well, because JDM's hands are always so high, guys abso-fucking-lutely beat him to his hips. That is what happened in the Gilbert Burns fight over and over and over again. Basile Hafez, same exact thing, was beating JDM to the hips because JDM uses high guard. Now, of course, Belal has came out and said that he's not going to shoot any takedowns, and he's purely going to box. Now, that would be very interesting to see. I would probably assume that that's not going to be true, but I mean, look, who fucking knows? But I think that this is a legitimate weakness that JDM just has with his style. Petr Yan has a very, very similar problem with the high guard that he uses, and I think that Amir is going to be stupid to not take advantage of it, and frankly, I think this is going to be the hardest area to overcome if you're JDM. I mean, look, for JDM to really become rock solid with the takedown defense against somebody as high level as Belal is, it would just require him to fundamentally change his style and his guard a lot, to the point that I don't think you can count on it. I think the battle that he needs to win is preventing the back takes. That is the number one thing he needs to watch out for. Now, of course, right, JDM I actually think is very good at scrambling back to his feet, very good at preventing back takes already. Now, Gilbert certainly did get to JDM's back a couple of times in their fight, but I think that Gilbert Burns isn't quite the wrestler that Belal is, but he does have better, quicker back takes, obviously coming from a pure jiu-jitsu background. I think that for Belal, his game relies on taking you down, forcing you to turtle, riding you from the back with a body lock, hitting mat returns, chaining takedowns together, whether it's a knee tap or a high crotch or a single, double leg, whatever. His skill set is primarily wrestling, and once he gets you to turtle down on your knees, he can start sneaking his hooks in. But I don't think he has quite the same skill set as Gilbert Burns when it comes to exploding onto your back. Now, luckily for JDM, he is working with a so-called individual named Craig Jones. I'm sure you guys are all very acquainted with the guy at this point. Now, Craig Jones has an entire system called Just Stand Up. Specifically, it's using turtle to get back up safely without giving up your back. He has this entire system, this entire 2-hour DVD dedicated to this one singular skill set. And this is going to be so deathly important to whether or not JDM can win this fight. I am not super confident in JDM's ability to consistently stop the takedowns. Belal, I mean, that truly to me is his A game. His double legs are so fucking clean, and I think he will be able to beat JDM to the hips. But if JDM can turtle and stand back up safely without giving up the body triangle, that is just so huge to this matchup. I mean, Belal is not known for posturing up and landing bombs with the ground and pound. In order for him to accomplish what the judging criteria defines as effective grappling, he's going to have to take JDM's back. And as long as he can defend that, we have a serious fight on our hands. From the standing body lock, JDM has really good throws. Apparently he put Craig Jones to sleep. I don't think that video was real. But who fucking look. Point is though, on paper, I think that JDM has the skill set and has the tools to really eliminate the advantages that Amir will have in this fight. Again, it all comes down to winning those two battles. If you can negate Belal's pressure, put him on the back foot, his boxing offense is not going to be quite the same. His kicking game is going to be pretty much gone. And if you can stand back up without giving up a body triangle, it's going to be really hard for Belal to accomplish effective grappling. At that point, it just comes down to cardio and whether or not JDM can finish the fight. Obviously, Belal's cardio is absolutely insane. He can put on a insanely high pace over 5 rounds. And I think that JDM is definitely not known for pure horsepower. I think that specifically what gets him finishes is his accuracy and his volume. When he's lighting guys up with combinations, they just don't know what's coming. They shell up, and his accuracy allows him to really hurt his opponent. But, Amir just doesn't really cover up. Amir, again, is always moving. He's always on his bike, and he does do a fairly good job being defensively sound. So, really, I think that it's a tough one. I think you can go back and forth with this one a little bit. I think that, look, there's definitely a world where maybe Amir out-cardios JDM, just consistently beats him to his hips, keeps taking him down, even if JDM does stand back up safely, which isn't if, he just keeps going for the shots, keeps getting to his hips, and then overall just kind of outpaces him perhaps. But I can also see a world where JDM puts him on the back foot, lands a shit ton of leg kicks as he's trying to move and evade, spams body shots, maybe sets up a head kick, maybe even wins a decision if he can consistently get back up from the takedown safely. I think that the only logical thing for me to do is to bet everything I own on JDM. I think that's the only smart thing to do here.